everyone, and welcome back to biology. Today we are starting our very next lesson, which is our lesson on evolution of species. Now, if you can recall, previously we had spoken about species. Now, our whole unit for unit number 3 is going to be on evolution. But today we're specifying on the evolution of different species. We know that evolution is change that different species go through to adapt. And these changes happen through very long periods of time. Okay? Now, with that being said, species, we went over last time, and we learned that species are closely related like animals, for example, or people that can mate to procreate. So they are able to, they're similar enough for them to mate and create more of themselves. For example, human beings. You can mate with another human being of the opposite sex and procreate more human beings. Mice. Mice can mate with other mice and procreate more mice. That is a species, okay? That being said, we're talking about the evolution of species, how it happened, why it happened, so on and so forth. So evolution happens so species can adapt to their environment in order to survive, in order to live better, have better outcomes of survival, so on and so forth. So, for example, let's use mice. Let's say we have two mice, one on each side of a long river. On one side of the river, we have a forest. On the other side of the river, we have a meadow. Now, the mouse that is in the forest is going to have to go through very tough trails, a lot of rocks, trees, mud, twigs, a lot of different terrain than what the mouse that's in the meadow has to go through. The mouse in the meadow has softer land, more clear view, more access to sunlight, not so many trees, more like flowers, and maybe if they decide to grow on the meadow crops, they would come across maybe corn, wheat, whatever is grown on that meadow. Now, for the mouse in the meadow, it's going to be a lot easier to find food. And for the mouse in the forest, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So what do they have to do? They have to learn how to adapt to those environments. Obviously, if you don't need to climb or scratch or claw your way through things, your nails are not going to need to be too sharp or rough or anything like that. So the mouse in the forest might develop sharper, tougher nails or claws. And the mouse in the meadow, no, doesn't need to, so it won't. It survives on its own, finding food as it goes. Okay, does that start to make sense as to why they have to evolve? So like I said, evolution happens through very long periods of time. Next up, I'm going to insert an image. In that image, you will see a timeline that starts about 3.5 billion years ago and what was around during that time. And it'll go year by year till you see about a couple million of years ago how the first humans came to be. But that's not how it started off here on Earth. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and insert that image. and then go over it with you guys together. So, like I mentioned, this timeline goes back about 3.5 billion years ago, and we start by seeing simple cells or the first living things. Next off, we have an image of about 1.5 billion years ago, which are more complex cells. So they're not just simple anymore. 600 million years ago, there was a development in algae, fungi, and the first animals. So not only cells anymore, but now the cells have developed into different things. 400 million years ago, we have early plants and many fish. 200 million years ago, we have forests starting to develop, insects, and the dinosaur age. Then we move on to 20 million years ago. We have grass, we have the age of the mammals. They look a lot different than they do now, but that is when they began to develop. And 2 million years ago, we have the first kind of herbs, which we use nowadays in our food and stuff. And we have our first ice age or early humans. Now, as you can see, we didn't start off like the way we look now. So, with time, we have evolved just like everything else has. Very well, so for your assignment today, I want you to show me an image of your notes. Now, your notes must include a quick sketch of that timeline that I included in today's clip. So if you need to be pausing the video as you go through it, please feel free to do so. If you need to go back, please do so. Again, if you have any questions on how to do the assignment or what I'm expecting of you, please don't hesitate and ask. If something was not clear or you need extra help on it, please ask. I'm here to help you guys. I hope to be hearing back from everyone very, very soon, and I hope y'all have a very wonderful day. Goodbye.